Dr. Helen Mulcahy, and I'm here today with Noeleen Cronin, who's the owner and managing director of Home Instead Senior Care here in Cork. So I know, Noeleen, you did postgraduate education here with us first, but I want to learn a little bit more about you. So can you tell me a bit more about your current role?
In my current role, I'm the owner and managing director of Home Instead Senior Care, and we're based in Blackrock in Cork. We provide a wide range of home care services to people in their own homes to help them to continue to live safely and independently for as long as would otherwise be possible. I lead a team of people who are dedicated in terms of their commitment to their clients, from our caregivers right through to our office team. And every day is a different day in Home Instead Senior Care. Everything is dealt with in the perspective of we are here to support you, we are a solution provider, and our support is 24 hours a day to our clients.
Thanks, Noeleen. And I know we're going to delve into the postgraduate education in a little bit more detail, but just to go back to the beginning, where did you do your undergraduate nursing education?
I completed my undergraduate nurse training in Our Lady's Hospital here in Cork, and it was over a number of years in a hospital-based setting at the time. I met, as I said, many people, and part of it was in a community setting. It was also at the time of new facilities being open in CUH, and things were changing. I completed it and, as I said, moved abroad and went to the UK, worked in London for some time, and also then travelled to Australia and worked in mental health in Australia, in Melbourne.
Okay. And obviously you had, very broad experience there, and that all stood to you. But what made you decide then to come back and do postgraduate education?
When I came back, as I said, the landscape within the nursing sphere had changed in Ireland in 5 years, and it was very much the beginning of a big change from a mental health perspective. I saw the openings within community settings. I saw the fact that things were going to change, and the hospital where I had trained was, as I said, was closing, and many wards were moving out to community settings. And for myself, personally and professionally, to be able to deliver a quality care to each and every individual client, I knew I had to enhance my own skills, my knowledge, and it brought me here to UCC.
Okay. And what courses did you choose then?
Initially, I chose the Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree, but to partake in that, I had to undertake the Access year. And that in itself was a great year because it brought me back to what education was about. I had been trained in a hospital setting, so I moved into very much an education forum here in UCC. And again, it was access to resources that I learned about, access to the library, how to do the research that was necessary, and then was confident in undertaking the Bachelor of Science Nursing degree.
Okay. And you've touched on some of the issues there that are important, obviously, in coming back to education. But what was the course really like for you? Kind of what was it like on an everyday basis?
And again, from my perspective, I was working at the time. It was great that I was able to continue to work. I was able to avail of time off through the HSE to avail of my study leave and the course. But I suppose every day was different because of the fact that it was meeting new settings in terms of all the different modules were so interesting. I, as a mature student at the time, would say it brought me to, I suppose, a group of people that I engaged very, very well with, and people who had come back to complete their Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree as well. The peer support was amazing, and to this day I continue to link with people through my career that have, within their own career moved, whether it be in a promoted setting in a hospital or community services, and that's what was very important to me as well. Meeting the people, having the resources, and having a great support from the tutors. I think I badgered them myself.
So, Noeleen, obviously your postgraduate education prepared you for your current role, but is there one course in particular that you think might have prepared you?
I would have to say that the higher diploma in Gerontological Nursing brought a great positive to me in terms of the values it highlighted for the older person. I knew within that particular course, this was something that I really engaged very, very well with. I enjoyed the discussions, the debates, and it was with peers who came from so many different settings. I suppose there was just the contemporary overview of what ageing is about, and it was that, the focus on positive ageing, and that's a number of years ago. And, in my career today, that's what I bring forth in terms of looking at what should be positive within the ageing sector. We're an ageing population, but the higher diploma in gerontological nursing was definitely a highlight from an education perspective for me.
Mm-hmm. And it's clear, like, you're working in the private sector now, so obviously there were skills of a personal nature that were brought to bear by education as well. Can you kind of dwell on those a little bit?
And again, from an assessment perspective, I suppose every day that we go out to meet with a client, their family, we are assessing people. So the attributes that I would have developed in terms of clinically here have enhanced my skills, and I continue to assess people, but I've delivered that and I share that with the team as well who work with me, so that they can go out and assess. And what we have to take into consideration are the psychosocial aspects, and that was very much to the fore in all of my studies as well. The other aspect would be, from a home instead point of view, we place a high focus on education of our caregivers. And through my education here, I've shared those values because we've developed our own dementia and Alzheimer's training program for caregivers. Okay. And that's been, as I said, my focus was from the education I received here within.
Okay, so tell me a bit about that. Is obviously a successful initiative for you.
It is, and it's very successful across the country for home instead senior care. We would deliver our education program to our caregivers, looking at identifying the characteristics and symptoms of dementia, but helping those people who have such a condition to live well, to focus on positives, and to be able to actually highlight how to manage the aspects of maybe challenging behaviours. And each office we would actually deliver to community care settings as well. We've brought together a number of community groups nationally. Every year we would deliver the care programme to, which has been a huge success.
Great. And have you any advice that you would impart to potential candidates in the future in terms of embarking on postgraduate education?
I would say you really need to keep an open mind. Again, I come from a mental health background, and the learnings there are immense because you deal with so many different aspects. And for me, I never thought gerontology was going to be the area, my niche, but I did need to keep an open mind. The first time I came into that my higher diploma in gerontology group, I was the only one from a mental health background. I would say keep an open mind, be inquisitive. Don't, I suppose I'm not being negative, but don't take research as a negative, because people fear it, but it's through research that you can find what your own skills are, and you need to develop those skills then.
Great. So Noeleen, I really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us about your experiences in terms of your life trajectory, but also your postgraduate education. And I'm sure there's lots of nuggets of information there that we can use. So thank you very much.
Thank you.